jealousy can turn a king into a hunter. In the pages of 1 Samuel, we meet a troubled ruler and a patient shepherd. Saul once stood tall over Israel, anointed, chosen, victorious. But when songs began to rise about David, Saul has struck down his thousands and David his 10,000s. Envy took root. The crown grew heavy with insecurity. So Saul gathered 3,000 elite soldiers and marched into the wilderness of En-Gedi to hunt one man. David wasn't leading a rebellion. He was hiding in caves, surviving on courage and promise. And then, in a twist only Providence could script, Saul entered the very cave where David and his men were concealed. Whispers filled the darkness. "This is your moment. God has delivered him into your hand." David crept forward, but instead of a killing blow, he cut off the corner of Saul's robe. Even that small act pierced his conscience. "I will not raise my hand against the Lord's anointed," he said. When Saul left the cave, David stepped out at a distance, bowed low, and held up the torn fabric. Proof of mercy, proof of restraint. Proof that power under control is stronger than revenge unleashed. Saul wept. For a moment, clarity broke through his paranoia. "You are more righteous than I," he admitted. He even confessed that David would one day be king. But jealousy is a stubborn fire. Later, in the wilderness of Ziph, Saul came again with 3,000 men. At night, David and Abishai slipped silently into Saul's camp. There lay the king, asleep, his spear stuck in the ground beside his head. Abishai whispered, "Let me strike him. One thrust, it will be over." Again, David refused. Who can lay a hand on the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? Instead, he took the spear and the water jar and withdrew to a distant hill. At dawn, his voice echoed across the valley. He called out to Saul and to Abner, the commander who had failed to guard his king. Holding up the spear, David demonstrated not weakness but integrity. He had every opportunity twice, and twice he chose trust over vengeance. Saul confessed again, "I have sinned." He blessed David and returned home. David went his way, still hunted, still patient, still trusting that the throne would come not by force but by faith. These wilderness encounters reveal a rare strength, the courage to wait for God's timing. David knew something profound. If God had promised the crown, he didn't need to steal it. Mercy became his weapon, restraint became his testimony, and the future king proved that true leadership begins long before the throne.